Do you ever have leftover pasta sauce in a jar and wonder, do I have to just use it for pasta? What else could I use it for? Well, today I'm going to make some lasagna soup. Why not? I have a can of it in my cabinet, so if they can make it and put it in a can, I can make it and put it in my mouth and eat it. Why not? So I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to use, it's probably about between a third and a half of a jar of spicy arrabbiata pasta sauce. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's nice and spicy. It's delicious. Some better than bouillon, vegetable kind, because that's what I use. And I have some leftover tomatoes and some pasta. Those are the main ingredients. So my water is boiling right here on the stove, so I'll get that going. And I like to keep the heat fairly high when I'm making pasta and just leave the spoon in it because that keeps it from boiling over. And I found that that is the best trick that I found for not having a messy stove when you're done fixing pasta. While I'm waiting for my pasta to boil, I'm going to take some of my fresh basil leaves, just cut off the stems, and I'm gonna just use my kitchen shears and cut these really small. I'm gonna mix up the cheese mixture that I will put on top of the soup. I won't add it to the soup, but I will top the soup with the cheese mixture, and I'll have this fresh basil in there. So I don't have ricotta cheese, but I do have cottage cheese, which is somewhat similar. So I'm just going to put in a big dollop. I will also add in some Parmesan cheese. Just gonna, and some shredded Italian style 6 cheese blend. I think I'll just use that up. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. And this is something I'll have to keep in the fridge in a bowl. And each time I have a bowl of the lasagna soup, I will just add a little dollop to the top. So I'm just mixing it together. And it looks similar to ricotta with some herbs and things in it, so looks good to me. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to show you how I fix the sauce. I'm going to add to the same pan, I tried to clean the bottom off pretty well, that I cooked this pasta in, and I'm just going to add some olive oil. I don't know, about that much. Put it back on the heat, and I lowered the heat to medium low. Now I'm going to add some onion, and this was frozen, so it's going to splatter. I know it will. But I'm using up that onion that I had in the freezer in a bag, and it'll end up being just fine. Just going to break it up a little bit. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to heat some water in the microwave. I'm going to heat a cup of water in the microwave. My water is heated, and I'm going to take some of the better than bouillon vegetable base just to make a stock. I'm just going to use about that much. Mix it into this hot water. You could use chicken stock, chicken broth, beef broth, whatever you want to do. I'm not adding any meat to my lasagna soup but you could certainly add ground beef or sausage, whatever you like. So with all the tomatoey things I have this container of leftover tomatoes, and I have the pasta sauce in the jar. I think this 1 big cup of the better than bouillon should be enough, and then I'll just add some water to make more liquid for the soup. So my onions are starting to brown a little bit, so I'm going to add in some garlic. Okay, I like to use this minced garlic. It's just really easy. I don't love peeling and chopping up garlic, so I just use this. I'll just show you what it's looking like. Don't want too high a heat for the garlic, it can burn, but I'll let it go a little bit more before I add the liquid and the sauce in there. Okay, I wanted to show you the onions and garlic are pretty well browned. Good enough, I think. So I'm going to add in, first of all, I'm going to dump the pasta sauce in, then I'm going to rinse the jar with the better than bouillon stock. Because it's kind of hard to get all that out sometimes. Let's put that back on the heat. And I'm going to hold over the sink to pour this. Okay, so I just added the stock in here. I'm going to swish it around. Now I'll pour that into the pan. So I added a little water also. Now I'll add that in. And I'm going to spoon some of the broth and tomatoes, but I'm not going to use them all. I think it might make it too tomatoey. I don't know. I think I'll just pour some of that tomato juice in. Give it a good stir. Let you see how it's looking. It's very tomatoey, which, you know, is a good thing. And I'm just going to give it a quick taste. It tastes good, but I'm going to rinse out this jar a little bit more. I just added a little more water to the jar. I'm going to rinse it out, pour it in here. And I think it needs a little more water. I want to get 3 or 4 servings out of this, and yeah, I'll just add a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook a while. Put the lid on. And I'm going to turn the heat to very, very low. And we'll come back and look at it in maybe 15-20 minutes. Okay, we are in the home stretch. The soup is almost ready. I just gave it a quick stir. Everything's incorporated really well, and I'm going to add the pasta in, and it's already cooked, so I just need to heat it up a little bit. So here is the drained pasta, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour that in there. Give it a good stir. And I'm going to let that heat up a few minutes, and then I will show you a bowl of this with the cheese on top. Okay, I'm going to show you the lasagna soup now. Everything's heated up. It's looking delicious. So I'm going to scoop some into my bowl. Get a few more noodles. And I like these noodles. They are Campanelle. I don't know if that's how you say it, but they're little twisted ones. They remind me of lasagna a little bit. You could use whatever you want though, I think. And now I'm going to add a dollop of this cheese mixture right there. A little bit more. Okay, I'm going to try my lasagna soup. I'm going to get a little bit of the cheese and the noodle and give it a whirl. It's good. It tastes just like lasagna, or pretty close. I like it. And like I said, I just wanted to use up the pasta sauce in the jar a different way than just making pasta again. And this is really good. So let me know if you're going to try it, or if you add meat to yours, or you know what you do. You can use any kind of pasta noodle you want. You could break up lasagna noodles. That'd work. So in case you're new here or you're coming back, I appreciate it either way. And this is my YouTube channel, Do It Myself Peg, where I talk about frugal living and cooking for one, and frugal cooking, and you know, that sort of thing. And I'll see you next time.